What is going on? Welcome back to the channel. So today is February the 26th. I want to give you a quick pre-market update, go over some of the hot movers and what big money is focusing on today. Before we get into any of that, make sure you guys hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. Starting off with data points, only one for today is initial jobs claims. Came in at 212, forecast of 210. Market's not really reacting that much towards it, only because there is a lot of companies that put out their earnings. That's what the market's kind of digesting. And right now we're somewhat flat. So Dow is up 0.28, S&P up 0.17, NASDAQ up 0.09. In comparison to the overnight trading, we were slightly pulling a little bit in the red. We are also at the time of this video seeing fairly low volume. So in my experience doing these types of videos, whenever we see kind of the market flat and low volume, usually results in some extreme move, either up or down once the market does open. So big money is probably just waiting for market to open just to either buy calls, buy puts, and then kind of adjust accordingly. But aside from that, fear and greed index is under the neutral category, meaning people's appetite for risk is improving. Getting right to it, SoFi is kind of flat, slightly now in the green. No news from them, no SEC filings, no analyst ratings, no real articles coming out. So they're just, and have been, just at the mercy of the broader market. Luckily enough, the market has been fairly optimistic the last 2 days. 9.94% of the free floats being shorted, works to be 124 million shares overall are being shorted. So shorts were fairly active yesterday, looking to see if they will continue that. But right now, with it at 1931, it is trading between its R1 and the pivot. So 1918 is going to be that key support. You really want to watch for that to hold. If not, you could be seeing a kind of push a little bit to that 1861. Flip side, 1975 is going to be that target. Aside from that, NIO is up slightly. They did put out the date of their earnings, and this is something I've been mentioning time and time again that they are going to be doing, and most likely will result in kind of some FOMO in some regard. But at the same time, Wall Street is going to analyze just to see what exactly, like, timing is ahead of the previous, is it delayed, and yeah, they did move it up slightly. So I'll kind of talk a little bit more on NIO in my dedicated NIO video, but fairly good stuff for that. Shorts are increasing 1,000 shares, so they're not really doing too much. 7.64% of the free floats being shorted, works to be 155 million shares overall are being shorted. There has been some buying though, because you can kind of see shares on loan have jumped up quite considerably. So for instance, January the 20th, it was sitting at 103 million, and now we're sitting at 147. So institutions have been buying, but most likely just for the purposes of lending stock out. Right now with that 521, it is slightly above its R2. So today, just watch for that 520 to hold. We kind of also did test that R1, so that 513 yesterday, so just watch for potentially that to be another bounce off point. But as long as they can hold that 520, in theory, we will be retesting that 532. Moving on, ticker is EOSE. So this stock on this, I've never got on that bandwagon. A lot of people were very hyped about this, but I've never really been my forte. But they are down quite a lot because of their earnings, so they did miss on top and bottom line, down 28.03%. I'm not really going to dive deep into the earnings exactly, only because they would make these videos quite long, because the other two companies also put out their earnings, last two, and yeah. So right now shorts are returning about 1,000 shares, and so far you can kind of see SoFi shorts aren't doing anything, NIO shorts aren't really doing anything, and this stock's shorts aren't really doing anything. So as I mentioned, we're seeing fairly low volume, so there's going to be some extreme move once the market does open, in my opinion. But 27.82% of the free float is being shorted, works to be 88.8 million shares overall are being shorted. So this stock, you do see some signs of naked shorting because there is more shares being shorted than on loan, so kind of sketchy stuff. DTC 4.91 days. But shorts, surprisingly enough, did recently double down, so it's as though they kind of knew that this stock was going to miss on their earnings. Right now with that 781, it actually just dipped below this S3 on the fib level, so it's kind of considered very oversold. So possibly you could see a little bit of a recovery to this S3, but yeah, this is you can kind of see this S3 as a virtual cliff. So right now it is falling. It needs to climb back up at least to that 789 to see any sort of recovery, but yeah, it's not looking too great right now. And then, so yeah, today just watch for that 789. So you might be able to have a little bit of a swing trade possibly, but right now it kind of seems very doom and gloomish. Moving on, ticker is BFLY, so Butterfly Network, up 27.7% because of their earnings. So at least a little bit of good stuff for that. Shorts are increasing 1,000 shares, so again matching with the shorts aren't really doing too much. 13.75% of the free float's being shorted, works to be 25 million shares overall being shorted. So this stock looks like shorts kind of were not, honestly, yeah, they weren't really doing too much leading into the earnings, so they were pretty unsure. Right now with that 393 though, it is trading between this pivot and this S1, so 370 is going to be a strong support for it to just watch for it to hold. 422 is going to be the next strong target / resistance, and usually stocks like this, as getting a lot of good volume, abnormal volume, a lot of day traders will gravitate towards this, so I wouldn't be surprised to see that 422, or you never know, 474 to be hit. So for those of you that are day traders, this one will be a pretty good one for you. And then moving on, last but not least, Nvidia. So I think all eyes were going to be on Nvidia. Luckily enough, they did beat on their top and bottom line. Future guidance was okay-ish. Of course, I think it could have been a little bit better, but at the end of the day, it did kind of get rid of that narrative of a AI bubble. So that's one thing that Wall Street was going to be really looking at Nvidia for, to either reaffirm the mentality of a AI bubble and cause everything to go down, or kind of just kick ass and really get that narrative gone. And so it's kind of neutral, so it's up 0.86%, nothing really crazy. Shorts aren't doing anything. 1.1% of the free float's being shorted, and right now with that 197, it is trading between this R2 and this R1. So 194 is going to be a strong support, 198 is going to be the next strong target / resistance. So in Nvidia's case, it really needs to get above this R2 and stay there. So let me know your thoughts on Nvidia and these stocks. Is there any other stocks that you're kind of trading today? One final thing, pop over to my Patreon if you're looking for some solid buy signals on stocks, options, crypto. Put out daily day trades, numerous swing trades. Worthwhile to pop over there and check that out. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.